Okay.
Good.
Let's get this started here. So I'll get the recording set up, and then I will have it sent to you by tomorrow morning at latest, so you can go back and check it out afterwards. Okay. Let me get your form. All right. What got you interested in coaching?
Can you say that again?
What got you interested in coaching?
I'm like getting higher now, and I feel like I'm sort of like tapping out on my like knowledge, and I just kind of need like outside information.
Yeah, sure. Okay. How long you been playing the game?
Season 12.
Okay, so quite a long time. All right. And you say in your form that you're primarily a tank player, but you play meta.
hmm
And how long have you been a tank player?
Since basically the whole time, basically.
Sure, sure. What appealed to you initially about that role?
Um, Honestly, it was just like I kind of had to play it because all the open queue and stuff. Nobody really wanted to.
I remember those days. That's what got me on tank as well. I ended up getting stuck playing tank, and then goodness gracious, got stuck playing Mercy for a season. I was like, what am I doing? I want to play tank. So you stuck with it, obviously, going into Overwatch 2 and role queue. So that's why you started. So why did you stick? I assume you just started to really enjoy it, or any heroes specifically appeal to you, or what?
Um, yeah, I think I was mainly like a Reinhardt main for like a long time,
Okay, okay. And what
and
and you obviously what appeals to you about Reinhardt or appealed to you about Reinhardt in the past?
it was just fun. You could just do so much. The ego duels were so much fun.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. And right now you're more of a meta player right now. So just depending on what's needed for the comp. Do you
Mm.
enjoy playing meta? Do you like heroes like Queen?
Yeah, it's just basically at this point I just like winning. That's
Sure,
it.
sure. Okay, okay. All right, makes sense. Makes sense. Where are you at rank wise right now?
Uh, so I hit rank 75 last season, but
Mm-hmm.
I will say it is console, so you know
I
we're
mean,
trying to we're trying to get over here soon. I finally got a PC build, so
nice. When did that happen?
like a week or two ago.
Nice, congratulations. Why haven't you transferred?
Um, Competition,
Yeah, you
try
gotta
and get
bite.
better.
You gotta bite the bullet, man. If you got the PC built, let me tell you something. Every console player that I've coached, and I've coached a lot of them, that has transferred over to PC has done really, really, really well. I think the transition period is a lot shorter than you think. You should transfer if you get a chance. Just bite the bullet, you know. Um,
The hardest thing for me, like when I try and transfer and stuff, is like the keyboard. Like
yeah,
the mouse is pretty, like I can aim decently. It's just
yeah.
actually moving and doing stuff is impossible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's probably also something that's like super intuitive to tank. You know, you need to be able to move super fluidly to like actually get your job done, right? So like, I can imagine that being a problem. Um, I don't know, like however you want to approach that, but I would encourage like, especially if your goals, I'm looking here, PC top 100 contenders, all that kind of stuff. Those are pretty high goals, so like the sooner you bite the bullet, the better you're gonna be. So get used to it. Force yourself to kind of bite the bullet at some point and just see how it goes. That would be my recommendation anyway. And plus, you don't have to worry about Zimmers anymore, so
Mhm.
that's always a plus. Um, I
Yeah,
don't even know how you guys do it.
and that's the one thing
Go ahead.
is like the meta on console is just so much different. Like I haven't seen a Winston played in like a year. Like it's nobody plays Winston.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, everything has like their own little microcosm, Like they have different heroes that feel better with controller and that feel better with mouse and keyboard and such. So I mean, it makes sense, I guess. I can't imagine trying to primal rage with controller. I think I'd lose my mind. Um,
hmm
okay. Yeah, I mean, I highly recommend swapping over whenever you can. Bite the bullet, see how it goes. Just give yourself some time to practice up, and like the competition is going to be a little bit lower because you're going to be mostly due to your mechanics going to be playing at ranks to where you're going to be playing in ranks lower than you're used to, and some of the plays are going to be like, come on, man, like why am I here? Well, bite the bullet, figure out your mechanics, and thankfully Overwatch 2 does place you where you belong a lot faster, right? You can climb up pretty quickly if you improve quickly. So that's what I would recommend anyway. But okay,
hmm
Sleep looks good. 79 hours of sleep. What do you get out of the session? Learn things that I can work on. Okay, hero pool and rank. So one little detail is you say primarily main tank heroes. So those are the ones that you kind of got started with. Is that like Winston, Ryan, Ball, Orisa, that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes sense.
And then I think the two characters I've been picking up a lot recently and playing a lot more is Diva and Queen.
Sure. I think one of the things that, especially if you're aiming really high, is good is to have some sort of flexibility, right? Being able to play different tanks depending on the meta, because you know how it is. Like meta doesn't matter until you're in the top 100, and then it kind of matters a little bit, right? So for you, it's just like, let's say you're shooting for the stars again on PC, and it's very reasonable for you to get there. What I would consider is how you're approaching things. So are you more of I adjust on like a week to week, a month to month, a day to day in terms of what heroes do you play? Like where do you kind of fall on that spectrum?
So I find that like I'm decently picking up every, like I can play every character decently, and like every patch I kind of like figure out like 3 characters I'm gonna play. Like, you know, I need my, like my Diva for the new bodies and stuff. I'm gonna play
Yep.
like Ram, and I'm gonna play Queen, and that's my thing that I'm gonna run.
Yep. Okay. I mean, that's a perfect strategy because that's what I generally would recommend is even like the pros, right? Like the Overwatch League players, they're not playing a lot of different heroes. They're depending on the patch, depending on what the team needs, depending on what their specialties are, they'll pick and roll it. Now, one thing I will say is that even if you are a meta slave, I don't know really anybody who's really a meta slave full through. There's some people that try to be, but basically it's like you're always going to have heroes that you're a little bit better at. So for you, it's like if you're talking about what are the heroes that you're playing right now? Like what are the 3 tanks that you're playing right now?
Ram, Diva, and Queen probably.
Okay, so Ram, for example, is that a hero that you're pretty decent at?
I'd say Queen is probably my best one.
Okay, so then there's your specialty.
Like I've been playing Queen since like launch, or like, well, not launch of her.
Right. But I know some tank players that if they were given that option, they would probably take the Zarya matchup instead of the Queen Mirror, right? But that's not you, right? Because that's your specialty. And so I think for you, it's like it's totally fine to play around the meta, but also don't even be scared to have like a slight specialty or a pocket pick, or when given the choice between Queen and Diva, I'm going to go Queen, right? I think that's normal. I think you even see this in the Overwatch League where you'll have some teams that play around a tank player that's really good at a specific hero. They do have to flex and fill depending on the situation, but I think having a little bit of a specialty is good too. Okay, so do you have any questions so far?
No, not really.
Okay, so training time right now. What's your play time looking like on the average day, week, and so on?
So right now, I probably am playing. Yesterday was the first day I played comp this season, but I'm playing like probably like 2 or 3 hours a day.
Okay, 2 or 3 hours a day. And how is that time spent?
I mean, I'm spending like 30 minutes in Vaxta, and the rest is just in comp.
Okay. 30 minutes in Vaxta? you take your aim seriously as a tank player.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I literally spend 20 minutes just throwing knives at bots.
Sure. Okay. Listen. If you're ever here's what I would say. I would say I wouldn't recommend that unless you're playing Queen. Then maybe it is worth it for Queen. Do you guys have like good deathmatch lobby matchmaking in console? Or is it like you just like go versus plats?
I've tried looking for hard FFAs, but
not console.
They're kind of inconsistent.
Crap. I would always check though. And then the other thing I would do too is I would give it like, unranked deathmatch, like the old arcade deathmatch. I would try that and see how bad the matchmaking is. If you end up, like I said, going versus like plats and you're like, this is literally pointless, I'd get more out of Vaxxed than do that. But if it's like decent, then I might try that instead, just to kind of mix things up. You also technically don't need 30 minutes to do it. So if you ever have a day where you're like, I've only got like 2 hours to play, I would spend like 10 minutes in Vaxxed and then the rest in ranked. But yeah, I think that's reasonable. And then the rest, I assume you're just playing ranked.
Yeah, I will say
Go ahead.
One issue I do have like right now is, I mean, just in general, I've had for a while, is like getting in like that flow state or whatever. Because
Yeah.
like I'm sometimes games I'm just like coasting, like, and in some other games I'll be like just so into it, like I know where everybody is at all the times. But other
Yeah.
games I'm just like sitting main and doing nothing.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that impact flow state, like energy, caring, sleep. One of the things that actually impacts flow state as well, which is really, really rough and why you probably don't get into it in ranked a lot, is they call it like the challenge curve, where like the harder something is, the more stressful it is. But there's a certain level of stress where you're more likely to enter flow state. For example, if you were playing like, I don't know what, versus like, let's say you were in a top 100 lobby and you were playing versus a tank that was like as good as you or maybe slightly better, you would have a much higher chance of getting into flow state than playing versus like an Overwatch League level tank or playing versus like a Diamond level tank. Because one of them would be so hard you would feel overwhelmed. One of them would be too easy, you wouldn't be focused. The flow state is where like you're just at like your challenge level. And the problem with Overwatch 2 is that sometimes even if the matchmaking is good, things tend to kind of be a little bit snowbally, right? People get tilted, people get boomed, people start playing worse. And so what ends up happening is a lot of games aren't very close. And so then that's not very conducive for flow state. So what the solution is understanding that and being okay with not being in flow state. Because let's put it this way. If you are doing a pull-up, right? And you're getting coached by like let's say a trainer or whatever, and they're having you do a pull-up with perfect form, work on this, do this, pull all the way up, pull all the way down, keep your shoulders engaged, and so on. You're not really in flow state so much as that you are engaged in thinking. You know what I'm saying? You're not necessarily like tracking everything and just feeling it, but you are engaged. So flow state is great, but if you can't be in flow state because the game is like a stomp either way, or the matchmaking is bad, you can still and should be engaged in thinking about what you need to be doing, because that's practice, right? It's not flow state, but it's at least practice, and that's how you're going to be getting better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The question is what are you going to be focused on? And that's what we have to kind of answer in this VOD review that we'll get to. Like, we'll look at your gameplay and be like, hey, these are some things that you need to be improving. And so then when you go into your gameplay, not just your Junker Queen knife accuracy, right? But like, okay, these are the kind of positional decisions or cooldown usages and so on that you need to be thinking about when you're playing the game. Does that make sense? Okay. So training time 2 to 3 hours is okay. I definitely think that's GM is definitely certainly achievable. Top 100 on PC with only 2 or 3 hours might be tough. You might need to push that to 3 or 4 hours, but you know what? Screw it. We'll get there when we get there. We'll see what happens when we get there. Maybe you're a prodigy. Maybe 2 hours is fine for you. Maybe like when you make that transition, you'll do just fine. I don't know. We'll see it when we get there. What do you feel is holding you back from improving? And you say it's been about a month, so if this has changed, let me know. You say, I feel I am unconsciously incompetent of what issues are in my game, but I'm sure there are issues. Okay, so you're like, I know there's issues in my game. I don't necessarily know what they are. I need basically a second perspective. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't really have a whole lot of other questions. Do you have any other questions before we get into gameplay?
Nope.
Okay. Do you want to shoot me a replay code?
Sure.
Heck, you can even just read it out and I'll type it in.
You ready?
Yeah.
7 B Z Y G R.
All right. Okay, let me get the stream started here. And is this Diva all the way through, or do you mix it up a little bit?
No. I think the last part of the last attack.
Queen.
I'm not
Winston
sure.
too. I see a little bit of Queen, tiny bit of Winston, mostly Diva. Okay, let's take a look. So why Diva? What is this? This is a hero that you're playing, like you said, on the Numbanis, coincidentally. So you're looking to up your Diva game.
I mean, I think because I find that Winston, like a lot of, at least what people play on console, is just a lot of hit skin on the high ground, so it's kind of like rough to play Winston sometimes.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I think Diva's like one of those heroes that like you don't necessarily like have a dive advantage over Winston, but you can do a lot more things in Winston in a lot of different circumstances. So, okay. Well,
I just find that like I find that I can live more and like do more.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Okay. Well, let's get into it. If you have any questions, just holler and we can pause and go over whatever you like. All right, let's take a look. Brilliant. So like first things first, it's like Diva's all about like controlling space, like whether it's controlling their DPS, controlling their tank, pressuring their supports, and so on. So one of the first things that you need to do as Diva is analyze the targets that you're playing versus, and then also analyzing where they're actually positioned. So for example, if I look at the enemy comp, I'm like, yo, I can deal with Sombra, right? I can deal with Baptiste, I can pressure Mercy, I can deal with Sojourn. But if the Queen is like, you know, midway on the point and their entire backline's over here, right? Your priority as Diva is going to shift to the Queen on point, even though usually you don't really care that much about Queen, simply because where she is and where the rest of the team is there's such a big gap there. So one of the things with Diva is finding out where that gap is. Like, who is playing aggressively that I can pressure out? Who is playing aggressively that I can dive and who I can kill? So as this fight evolves, you see Sojourn, you take top, but actually the Sojourn baits you. Because where is actually the aggression actually happening? Do you see it?
Yeah.
You see? So you're actually here on a Queen, and you're like, well, that sucks. I don't want to be here. And you're like, oh, snap. Bap takes top. Sojourn takes top. And I've also used my booster, so I can't even deal with the Sombra. So, did you think the Sojourn was up top, and that why you repositioned?
Yeah, I 1000%
okay.
thought she was top.
So let me propose a solution for you. Don't move. Sit right here. Sojourn comes out top, booster on top of her. If Sojourn doesn't come out top and she just sits and pokes, you don't care. Instead, you're putting your attention on like, where's this BAP, where's this Sombra, where's this Mercy? And you're doing it from here because this is like the central hub. When you're there, you can go back, you can go forward, you can go right, you can go point. You kind of see what I'm saying? Whereas now, especially because you've used your boosters, not only did the Sojourn juke you, but you're not in a position to get to anywhere or do anything at all. You see that? So
yeah,
take a position and you're going to lose the fight off of that. Where you can help whoever is playing most aggressively here. And then now, for example, here, you could be thinking, okay, well, I could dive the Baptiste and Sojourn, but what's the problem with diving the Baptiste and Sojourn now? Like, just like boostering in. What's the problem?
They're just so far away.
Right, they're just so far away. So you got to think 2 steps ahead. How do I get on top of them without taking damage while being able to close the distance? Because this fight's probably pretty much lost, right? But what do you think?
It's kind of rough. I mean,
it is.
Top right would be good, but the Queen's up there.
Yeah.
Top left is far too.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm thinking either you fly here and you control the space, maybe mark the Queen, at least you LOS the guys on the floor. Maybe you can fly over here and LOS here. Maybe you could fly and tuck inside this room right here. I feel like probably top right would be your best bet. And then, yeah, like this is good right here. Because here you've been able to close the distance to force them out. And then, like, why was this the priority? Why was top right the priority?
Because the BAP and Sojourn went up there.
Right. So not only is it a good Sojourn, a good target for you, where's the rest of the enemy team? Where's Sombra? Right? Where's Queen?
Man.
They're out, right? They're not doing jack all, right? So easy choice, right? Nice job. And then here it's just like, you know, okay, whatever. It's fine. She gets out, take the position, reset. So gets pretty messy because we end up giving up space at a really bad time. But good response there at the end. That clutches it out. Yeah, I was gonna say, please spy check. Good, nice. Baiting all those cooldowns, it's really good. Good. And this is what we talked about, right? once you force them out, you don't even need to pursue. So you immediately turn around and go like, okay, what's the queen doing over here, right? Then turn back. Okay, she's out. Now I go for queen, right? This is really good. Nicely done. I really don't have anything to say there. I think you played that entire fight really, really, really nicely. Okay. What I will say, though, I was just about to say something about this. There's no reason for you to be here. What advantage do you get out of this positioning? What is one angle that you can mark that you couldn't otherwise mark from this position?
The coast side.
Right, coast side, right? But that's not really concerned you. They're not going to go coast side. You know they're not going to. It's not a very powerful position. Are you in a better position to control squishies out of the choke?
Not really.
No, you're not, right? You end up running into the tank, right? This is better, right? Okay. You also lose point. You lose the high ground. You lose the flank, and you lose main here. And the irony here is that obviously this is a bit of a disaster from your Cassidy, but this, again, the second that you leave the angle that you should be on, he dies, right?
I love that. That's
such a stupid ability, man. But like for real, like this is again, like it feels we have a suck sandwich where you had a really, really perfect fight preceded by a really bad fight and then proceeded by a really bad start to the fight. Both times because you gave up space on a high ground off angle for no reason, right? Like a totally unnecessary death both times. Thank you. Perfect, right? Now he's out. You don't even give a rip about this guy. Who cares? He's useless. He's out of the fight. Now it's Sojourn time. And what I will say is, I mean, she's feeding. I don't know what she's doing. Oh no! Wait. Okay, we're good. I was getting a little scared there. Oh. Okay. Nice. And see, you don't even need to do anything about this. Yeah, this is good. This is fine. Like this is fine. Like you can look at this and be like, oh no, my Sombra EMP'd the Cassidy, and like maybe you could have peeled this off. But also at the same time, like you're in a really good position to like dive their backline too, right? So this is fine. I'm just frustrated that your Cassidy was like died there unnecessarily anyway, right? This makes this fight so much harder than it needed to be. That's unfortunate. You needed to end that on high ground. You cannot let this BAP hold high. That really sucks. Was that an accidental booster cancer, or did it just run out of juice?
I think I just like messed up.
Canceled it. Yeah, that sucks.
That happened another time too. I remember.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I would stay in the BAP though. Yeah, this is good. Bomb's good. Zone. I have no idea why the Sojourn's going for you. A little bit scary. I would get out if I could. Yep, nice. You guys still control high ground, so... Oh, no way. That's okay. Nice. Pistol whip, let's go. So, obviously a lot of good. Most bad stuff has just been about you giving up space for free and giving away kills. I mean, there's obviously a reason why you're top 100. There's a lot of good things that you're doing. I think this fight is just like you didn't have the mech. That's pretty much all there is. So that, like this fight's just lost before it even starts. Okay. You have any questions so far?
Not really. No.
Okay. So lots of good things. I think you do a very good job of controlling aggression. A lot of Diva players would benefit from watching this and seeing like how you pressure backlines, pressure squishies, control like pressure DPS, and then as soon as they're out, you ignore them and you immediately turn your attention to something more aggressive, more dangerous, and like you're constantly shifting your attention. It's like ADD tank play, right? That was done really well. The only problems that we said last time is that you need to set up in a good position ahead of time. Don't stack with your team. You gave up too much space. You chased something that wasn't even there, and then that ends up costing you 2 lives. So here, I don't like this setup. I would much rather prefer you to think 2 steps ahead. So I'm thinking here. Well, okay, let's put it this way. You guys are looking to push here. So where's a position that you could be looking to push from? Because you could go here. That's an option. But where else could you go from?
Well, what I was thinking, I was gonna try and go left side of bus and just try and assassinate the bat.
Like wrap around? Yeah, that can work too.
Yeah.
Your other option would be, if you wanted to play more frontline, would be where?
In that room where
Yep.
Booster is.
Yep, booster here. Control this off angle right from here. And then you have the same option to wrap around if you'd like to, but you can also just take the frontline trade here. Now, I would probably prefer this option because they have Bob, EMP, and BAP window. So you can play to dodge EMP, right? And then just Matrix team, pop rally, then you can go for backline, if that makes any sense. But I think your plan is fine too. Problem with this is that it's not really either, right? So it feels a little bit messy. This is really scary. Okay, we survive it. Nice. Not so nice. Yep. The mess. So I guess we're just rallying to survive now. Awkward booster management there. It's a little bit messy. I would just get out our dying card here. I think taking this position here was a mistake. No way. You actually killed the Ash. There's no way. But yeah, I think that was just a lost fight. I would have died in card a lot sooner there. As soon as you see your Brig die, either completely disengage, don't take that high ground, or reset. One or the other. Cart simulator, not a lot you can do here. Launch bomb. Bomb is good. Oh my gosh. Wait, I thought for sure. Oh, it's just
that is one thing. I don't know how to use bomb at all.
Well, the way that you used it was correct, right? You just didn't put it where you wanted it to be. That's all. That's all. Because you used it for remech because you had to touch cart, and you're gonna get some value out of it by remeching it in a location. This should have gotten a kill if you placed it better. That's all it is. The booster was just a little bit too high. That's all there is. So I wouldn't necessarily say that you don't know how to use bomb. You're just, in this particular instance, you just didn't place it where you wanted it to. That's all. Good, she's out. Oh, that's so close. That's a scene. Charlie Niner. Just die cart. Nice. Okay. Okay, next fight. I want to stay on the Diva train before we move on to Queen here. Okay, any questions so far?
Nope.
Okay, so I'm thinking need to do a better job with controlling space, deciding about whether you want to go for these backline assassinations versus taking these short sightline off angles to Matrix. Let's see what we got here. Looking at their comp, got a damage boosted Ash. Trying to stop res. She's out. Okay, so immediately here, small detail here. As soon as she's out, full Matrix. You cancel your Matrix here. This is a mistake. You need to full Matrix all the way back down again, right? You're not doing any damage at this range. Don't do any damage. Don't take any damage. Full Matrix and drop. Good. And your positioning here is also not exceptional. Where should you be right now? Small adjustment. Very small adjustment, but very important adjustment.
Like hugging the wall more?
Yes. Yeah. Hug the wall. Hug the wall. Look at your tracer. 3, 2, 1. And then booster from where? Where would you go? How would you go? So you'd be on the wall. Where would you go?
You could, I think this is fine. Maybe you could like try and go from main more to like boop the Mercy out more.
Sure.
I don't really know.
I was thinking here. Let me know what you think. You walk along here and you booster up to here. And because I want them to turn around from main. That's my goal. I don't want them to, I want them so you get there, but you put yourself in between the Queen and the Mercy. I don't want that. I want you outside of them. Because if you booster from here and you land here, you can see everybody, right? And so what does that mean for your matrix?
Blocking more damage.
Right. You do more damage. You do the same amount of damage, right? But you can see everything on your screen. So when you matrix, you're not matrixing Batiste damage. You're matrixing Batiste damage, Queen damage, Tracer damage, right? That's going to allow you to go for this type of play because it's basically put it this way. The thing that you're doing right now is good. The way that you're doing it is not. Just like the bomb. You're not setting up close enough to the wall. You didn't matrix soon enough, so you took a little bit more damage than you needed to. You didn't stage your dive immediately onto backline, and instead of treating it yourself like a flanker, you just drop yourself into the middle of the enemy team. And so therefore, you're going to need to drop sooner than you should have. You should have been able to stay up here a little bit longer. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. I would also argue here as well that I would have waited a second and a half for my missiles to come off of cooldown too. You see this? So this type of play here, really, really important that you have your missiles, because that's going to pack a lot more punch on this assassination. And honestly, like, I don't even know that I would have dropped yet either, right? Because remember, you're not playing to get a kill, really. You're scaring a kill, but you're playing to distract them, right? So why would you drop here when you have half of your matrix, right? Stand here, distract, matrix is down, you drop. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
So when you're going for, so the takeaway here is when you go for these backline assassinations, even think back to what you were thinking about doing on the bus here. Do I have micro missiles? Do I have an off angle? I don't want to be in the middle of the team. I want to be in the outside. Do I have my micro missiles? Do I have an off angle without being in the middle of the enemy team? And am I staying there as long as I can with full matrix, full HP without dying? So I can distract as long as I can. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you don't stay up there as long as you should have. You did not have missiles, and you didn't come at it from the best angle that you could have. I mean, even here, right? Why are you dropping so quickly? Full HP, micro missiles. This time you've got the micro missiles. Maybe you could have relaxed the micro missiles a little bit. You kind of like just shot them everywhere. But that's okay. This one, you couldn't really get on the outside looking in. You are kind of in the middle, and there's not a lot you can do about that because, like, you're not like you could be over here, right? So that's fine. However, you drop here at 517 HP when you still have, again, half of your matrix. Do you see this? Stay here for longer.
Yeah.
More distraction, more time wasted, more space created. Do it again. Yes, 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 yes.
This was horrific.
Okay, so if this goes wrong, we know that the intention of what you're doing was good. So why didn't it work out? Let's find out. Was that a coach gun plus booster boop? I think it was. Yeah, it's a coach gun plus booster boop. Let me look at their Ashes POV here. Yeah. Okay, here's the mistake. Do you see the mistake? Besides the fact that maybe you could have just like let her live, but she was 1 HP. I get it, you know. What's the cooldown mistake here?
Eat coach gun.
Well, yes, eat coach gun, but also at the same time,
no missiles.
No missiles until she's actually like a million miles away. Like that opportunity to missile was right. Bam! Right here, missiles. Right, missiles and matrix. Right, because then you, like you said, you eat the coach gun and you get the missiles out. That's a mistake here. I get going for the kill. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do this. Like, I don't know if I would do this. Yeah. But, you know, okay. That being said, it's not the end of the world. You did create a lot of space. Maybe your team wins off of this. Oh, no. Oh, it's a disaster. Okay. That's okay. So, better awareness of your missiles for these assassination setups, whether it's on the Ash on the angle or going for the up top, increasing your uptime by really using that full matrix just to distract. Okay, let's see. Good. Now you're set up. Nice. Get him. Nice. I mean, there wasn't a lot to say there. Just, you know, clean up. Good stuff. Yay! Nice positioning. Good stuff. Easy setup for backline here. And also denying their Ashe this high ground. It's really, really important. Oh, nice. Nice. Now you turn your attention to either Queen or Tracer. Probably, honestly, yeah, I was going to say, probably Queen, just because of how close she is. What is she doing? What is she doing? Haha, no way. No way. Okay, you guys are, you're good, you're good, you're good. Okay. Okay, back to top. Good. Back to top, back to top, back to top. Good. And then I want to see you on this backline for like 6 years. You know what I'm saying? I want to see full matrix, good cover usage, everything. The only mistake that I see here, let's see if you can point it out. What's the mistake here cooldown wise?
I wasted all my DM1, and then also the missiles were kind of far away.
Yeah, the missiles just don't. It's not just far away. It just doesn't feel like your brain's on at all. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, look at where you're at right now. Like, you know you're going for this backline. You know you're going to use missiles in the next 2 seconds. Like right now, here it is. This Baptiste lights up like a Christmas tree, right? And yet, no. Like we're nice to eat, but man, I would like missiles. You know, bomb is fine. Create space. That is good missiles right there. This is what we want to see right here. This is what we want to see. So I will say as well, micro, I would be matrixing right now until about here. Then you cancel your matrix, right? And you cancel your boosters. But so definitely another micro mistake. But the one thing you did get right here with the missiles were phenomenal. I mean, look at the damage here. You hit like 2/3 of your missiles. Really nice. Really, really nice. Nice. And now we just play backsta aim trainer, right? Okay. Alrighty. Get him out. Good. Oh, by the way, missiles. Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
We love to see it. I mean, it's obviously there. Like, you don't. It's not like you don't know what you're doing. It's just not consistent enough. That's all. Again, missiles, right? Really nicely done. It's like your previous self knew that I was going to be talking about missiles, so they just proceeds to give me like 4 good missiles in a row, or 3. Nicely done. Ignore them. Who's the next target? Is there anybody alive? No, they're good. Okay, let's go. Look at that. You made him swap to Diva. You win. Oh, there's locator right there. I don't know if you saw. That's fine. You guys just kind of, your tracer just kind of pushed too far, given where your backline was. I would be leaning out right now. You're gonna get hacked if you stay here, I think. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so he's on Cassidy. Good. Nice missiles, full matrix. There's the matrix that we love and know. Nicely done. Nicely done. That was really, really quite good there at the end. Good use of, like, you see how long that made. They literally just gave up looking at you. They see the matrix come out and they're just like, all right, well, screw it, right? And that's exactly what you want to do, right? Like, you've created so much space. Is that all for Diva? They got a little bit here
no, I
too.
started.
All right. Let's take a little bit here. Do you have any questions so far?
No.
Okay, so we're slowly forming our opinion of your Diva. Little things that we're going to pick up, and then by the end we'll have a bullet point list of things that you need to work on. We'll also have time to look at a little bit of Queen and Winston, I think, as well. So, alrighty. Yes. Excellent use of missiles. Now, what I would do here is you do the correct thing here, where you force them out and then you ignore them. It's really silly that your Kiriko peeked in here, but yeah, this is the correct thing. Why Matrix if you don't have to peek them, right? They're out of the fight. You don't even need to peek them. So this is good. They're in now. Diva has now crossed the line. She's now going to get shot. So, good. Good missiles. I mean, the missiles are doing the majority of the damage there, right? Like that's really important. Probably got surprised by that Sombra pick. It's fine. I would still be going back up top. Yep. She's out. She's out. Stay in the kill here. Honestly, I'd stay in the Ana. Yeah. There you go. Unfortunate. Good. Yeah, this is really good. This is really good. I don't really have a whole lot to say there. Your micro missile usage was really quite good. You go Winston here? Okay, no, not yet. Let's keep watching. So bypass Ram. Get away from that stupid Mei. Here's cancer right now. And like everything that you need to know, you've just saw, right? They're doing you a favor. This is like the three idiots essentially right here. Like you hate these guys, right? So you basically just all you need to do is what you're gonna do here, which is stage across here as quickly as you can, booster up, fly, and then maybe even drop. Maybe an opportunity. There's the missiles, right? So it's like I think you were like not sure, but like this matrix and missiles needs to be here, right? Why? Missiles we know, obviously, but you know what this Ash is going to do, right?
She's going to coach down and get healed.
Yeah, so eat it, more pressure. You know you're not going to get the kill, but you don't need to get the kill. You do so much more pressure here with that, and then by the time you throw out missiles, she's already smashed out. So, it's not really that good. Nice. One tiny little detail, though, again. If you can, I don't know. I guess you can't really wait here. I was going to say maybe you could wait for missiles, but I don't know if you can wait, honestly. I wouldn't hesitate to just fly out here. Yeah. If you don't get what you want. Yeah, I don't think you knew the Moira was there, but the BAP is still there, so this is still bad. Yeah, no bueno.
I just got made.
Yeah, just a bad target. That is one of the worst changes I think they've ever done. Okay, so Diva. So let's talk about Diva skills before we look at some of your other stuff. So what are you seeing so far? We talked about a lot of little things, but we definitely were able to build out a couple of things that I think you could be working at. What are those things?
Like the missiles and VM micro and like the engages and stuff.
Missiles in proximity, plus matrix management on your dives. I mean, let's do the missiles in proximity. Let's split these. So missiles in proximity, timing dives with them, don't turn brain off. And then with the matrix management,
trying to stay in as long as possible.
Right. Stay increasing uptime of backline distraction and thinking more about matrix on dives versus certain matchups. So for you, it was like you dive the Baptiste on second, he's like 30 meters away and you're shooting, like that's just crazy, right? You got coached twice by that Ashe where she would have taken significantly more damage. I think those were the by far the biggest two things that you needed to work at. There were a couple of other goof ups, like diving the Mei there at the end. Obviously the bomb mistake, but I think in terms of things that we're not like looking what would have won the fight. We're trying to find habits that you can fix and you can practice. And when you talk about flow state, right? Go into a game. I'm going to really keep my eyes and focus on my missiles, or I'm really going to focus on looking at their comp. How do I need to be matrixing? Am I going to be increasing my uptime? Those are the things that you need to be practicing, and not necessarily flow stating, but staying engaged, right? Honestly, I really liked your Diva playstyle. I think you played the hero correctly. The way, it makes sense, right? You're top 500 for a reason. So you play the hero the way it's supposed to be played. You did a good job controlling their DPS. You did a good job pressuring backline, avoiding tank. You did a pretty good job for the most part not taking damage unnecessarily, and preserving your life. I don't have a whole lot to add. Do you have any questions before we look at something else?
No.
Okay. Do you want to look at your Winston and Queen from this VOD, or do you have another code? Because we have another almost 15 minutes if you'd like to.
We can just look at this one. I think that's fine.
Okay, sounds good. Let's go back to the Queen then. So, I mean, honestly, we could have just looked at the Winston, but we're already here. So, all right. So Queen for third makes sense. Not a lot of high grounds to play around. Good skin choice, always a plus. So the way I like to look at Queen, and I've had a couple of reviews that we've gone over this, is you're kind of like a short punchy dive tank, right? Where you're going for like these quick little pushes or punches onto the enemy DPS, onto the enemy tank, and the enemy supports. And so you really need a strong cover position to be staging from. And then either you wait for the enemy team to make a mistake and then you punish them, or you create mistakes by using cover, shooting, and then obviously your Gracie, your knife, pulling people and creating these little dive opportunities. Like, you're limited with your range, but your speed boost is important. So, like, versus the enemy comp, you can't just exactly stand in the middle of nowhere and just like poke them, right? But what you can do is you can sit here and shoot, poke, shoot, poke, shoot, poke, fish for a knife. Okay, bam, you know, hit him in the mouth, right? Case in point, right? He hooked you in, but the joke's on him. He wanted this, right? Because you got right on top of this grill, and not only that, but you got on top of the Ashe as well. Now, obviously, Ashe, Coach Gun, you can't exactly matrix a Coach Gun as Drunken Queen, but yeah. Good switch at the target priority there. Obviously, not a lot you can do with the Bob active, but really, there's nothing you can do here until you get shot. I would have even tried to wait a little bit longer before I would have touched. And then in addition here, so like when you have to peek here, you don't hit it. Really make sure that you don't carnage that because that one hurts, right? Because this just needs to be a W key into this Batiste and hit this guy's teeth in, you know? But, ugh. These need to be hitting. Yeah, they need to be hitting.
Yeah.
Like, that's the difference between life and death right there. Because your on is going to be able to support you. Was that it for Queen? Well, that was simple.
Yeah.
That was simple enough. All right. Maybe we will look at another code. Let's at least look at some of your Winston now. So, or is this just going to be Nano Winston kill them? Maybe it's just going to be Nano Winston kill them.
My thought process here is like I was kind of feeling like I needed like more kill potential. You know what I'm saying? Because like
I agree.
the May and the Ram, like the distraction like doesn't really help because them two can kind of just solo. Like my backline can't push like top left. So it doesn't really work.
Here's the thing with Winston: you're a lot faster than Diva, right? So when you don't have space, Winston can very quickly get in without taking a lot of damage and set up on backline. Diva is a little bit slower and more patient, but you know, a lot of these situations where you don't have space, it takes too long for you to get to that. I mean, think about like how long and how painful it was for you to get onto the Batiste and Ashe, and all you did was really just shove them into a corner and pray that somebody hit a shot, right? That's pretty much all you could do, right? Winston, you could, like you said, you can actually go 3, 2, 1, bam, jump out, drop out, and yes, it's higher risk, higher reward, but when you don't have space, you're willing to roll the dice a little bit. You have to roll the dice a little bit. They have the advantage. So let's see what happens. Obviously, you having Nano as well is the cherry on top, because this guy can really do work with it. Good. Lot of space. Only problem, and this is something that really too many Winstons miss this. Where's my right click?
Yeah.
You know, or you know, your alternate fire. You know, that's 75 damage with Nano Boost, right? It's free damage. It needs to be there, especially if you're going for like a specific target like that Ashe. Yeah, it needs to be there. I mean, this fight's lost, but it's fine. Good. Turn around. Yep. Honestly, just disengage her. Oh, maybe you get primal actually. Wow. Nice. Maybe. Nice. Play your life. Good. Yeah, nice. Only thing there is just the alternate fire. I think everything else was mostly fine. Okay. Do you have another replay code? We still got 10 minutes.
Yeah, I do.
All right, let's do it.
Ready?
Yeah, shoot it up.
JRC
JRC.
QVQ. QVQ.
QVQ. Okay, so I ended stream, and then I started, so you might have to click on like my picture and then like tab over.
Okay.
Sometimes it can be a bit of an issue. You got it? All right. Okay, let's take a look. Is this Winston? All the way through?
Attack is.
Okay, do you want to look at the Winston, or do you want to look at the defense? Because we'll probably only have time for one or the other.
Defense.
Defense? Okay. That Batiste and Ash look familiar. Actually, I think the Mercy too. Alrighty. Ram, let's take a look. I guess we can, by the way, we can throw in Winston. Alternate fire on dives for combo. Queen, I don't feel like I saw enough to really say, to be honest with you. Alrighty. So Ram is like, you know, like you look at this and you're like, okay, if I'm playing versus a Reinhardt, I want to shoot the guy down first and then I can beat him up, right? Same thing goes with a Queen, same thing goes with the Zarya. Like there's no real reason to force a brawl a lot of the time. Now, this is the exception to the rule, right? You're playing versus Sigma, Soldier, Ana, Mercy. You're going to get value out of your poke and shield, but not more than their Sigma. The guy's just going to, he's just going to outvalue you. So basically, the idea is that, as I'm sure you know, is just poke, prod, don't really take a fight. And then as soon as things get to this corner, you're home cooking, right? Because that's where you can close the distance and actually fight this guy. That's where your advantage versus like the Sigma. Okay. I will say small thing there. This is like, yeah, I was going to say, put a little bit more priority on the Soldier if you can, just a little bit. And I don't think the shield was all that necessary either. Like, you really have to be selective about what you're doing with this guy. Like, you probably were fine. Drop, sit in the corner, shoot. Sigma starts to spam you, then you shield. Because that shield will allow you to do more damage and more pressure afterwards, right? Like, this is no bueno. This is not going to be good. And then even the E isn't really well placed either, because the whole point of the E would be to throw it here and then spam him out more. But he ends up just ducking behind the corner anyway. I would be a little bit more patient with what you're doing with those cooldowns. Like, that is like the quintessential Ramattra thing, is like, don't just press the button, you know? Would that have changed the result of this fight? I don't think so. I mean, you do a pretty good job of shooting tank and then shooting DPS and then going back to tank. Like, you know, you're pretty good with your target priority on all your tank heroes, I think. But, like, the cooldown usage did you no favors there whatsoever.
Hey, it's Kiko.
Sucks. Right? The E gets literally sucked. Shield is fine. Obviously, that's going to get a lot of value. The E gets sucked up. Good. Go. I think, yeah, you gotta risk it. Nice. Nice. Haha. What is she doing? What is she doing? She went for it. I gotta respect it.
But our Ana was screaming right then. She was like, don't get off the phone.
Yeah, don't see nine. This one, I assume you shielded because you heard your Widow getting shot. So you're like, oh crap, you know, I don't want my, like, your Widow might have like died there, so I get it. If this shield is okay as long as it's not for you, because you didn't need it, but maybe your team needed it. I don't know. Again, the E, right? Don't just use it, you know? Shoot the guy, throw the E once you actually see where he's going to be kiting to. Because I know what you're doing with the E. You're saying, I'm going to make you not want to be able to go back, right? But why would you, but do you see how, like, if you had thought about it a little bit more, you might have thrown it a little bit deeper. You see this gap here? Close the gap.
Yeah.
So even though you did place it pretty well, it still isn't quite good enough here. Right?
Yeah, I think a little bit of timing too, right?
Yeah, a little bit of timing. Let them walk forward just a wee little bit, cross into your line, because you know where your team is positioned here, right? So, like, if we go to where, when you press the E, okay, so right there. So, you know, your Widow's here, but you can look at her rotation, your Kiriko, Torb, and Ana's positioning. You know, this isn't useful, really. This is useful. Anything from, like, this point on is guaranteed value from your entire team, right? So yeah, good catch. Exactly.
Those are like my two biggest habits, though. I just kind of throw those two abilities out.
Yeah, well, it's hard. Like that's where again we're gonna go into your are you engaged, right?
Mm.
And if that's not the case, then that has to change. You know, playing to win, like you were saying earlier, is great and all, but like you know you can't put the cart before the horse. You got to where you are today because you practiced, right? Now, if you want to push that bill further, the way to get there doesn't change. You still have to practice. You still have to push yourself to keep yourself engaged, right? Now, this shield, maybe you didn't know their Ana was in spawn. The intention of the shield is fine. Obviously, it doesn't end up working out so well because it doesn't end up like really cutting out any healing at all. Again, you know, the E, right? Like shoot the shield, throw the E, then you're good to go, right? I don't mind you Eing Sigma because it's going to slow him down, make him easier to shoot, and you're probably gonna, he already used shift, so I think at this point you might even be able to force out like an on-nade or force him out, but like, man, it just feels like so many of these are unimpactful. It's fine. Obviously, sleep dart's scary. Not a lot you can really do about that. As long as you have a specific target that you're going for with that, I think we're good to go. I am less annoyed with this E because he was walking into your team's space and you had a reason for using it. You were trying to slow the roll, make him take damage, right? You whiffed it, but you at least had a very specific reason for it, and you were playing around your team. So the irony here is this is the best E that you've thrown so far. It's the worst mechanical E that you've thrown so far, but at least you had a reason for using it, and that's what we need to have. You're trolling.
That's bad. That's bad.
Yeah, not a good trade. Not a good trade. And at least you canceled it early, though. I think that was pretty smart. This is fine. Lots of good spam value here. Their Genji's dead. This is all fine. Again, here. You don't know. Actually, no. I'm wrong. I think this shield and E are fine because you walked forward beyond the corner, so you needed the shield, and then you threw the E to zone him from backline. Obviously, it doesn't work out. The placement of the E isn't perfect, but I think these cooldowns are fine. Good. Stop focusing him down. Set the soldier. Good shield. Again, the E mechanics, like, I understand why you're Eing here. You're going to E here, and then you're going to go Nemesis form if she tries to res, right? Correct, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just whiffed. So, even if you're practicing your mentality, you also need to practice your mechanics with the abilities as well. Good. Get him out. I don't even think using Nemesis form here is bad. You just used, like, all their cooldowns, so block is good. Oh, that sucks. Get him out. Good. Use it. Yeah, I mean, this fight was good. This fight was good. Yeah, he did a good job. He did a good job. Okay, so with Ram, I mean, it really is absurdly simple. Absurdly simple. With Ramattra, all it is practice the decision strategy behind your shield / E. What value, either through zoning or slow or whatever, does it provide? And then the E mechanics, just like getting more consistent at placing it where you wanted it to. A couple of the ones towards the end were really quite good. The E's and the shields, you didn't always hit them where you wanted to, but they were smart. First half, total opposite, really not smart at all. So I would be working at really thinking about what you're going to be doing with them. I'm not going to lie to you, it's not the most impactful cooldown in the history of the universe, but it's free value, it's free utility, even if it's just zoning. So make sure that you're using them with respect. Do you have any questions?
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Okay, a lot of stuff that we went over today, a little bit of everything. Encourage you to go to PC, mate. Like you've got the game sense, the decision making, definitely for Grandmaster Top 500. I think. Obviously, the mechanics is that going to transfer over? Yes and no. It will take time, but I think you'll get it faster than you think you will. But all right, if you have any questions.